each other for maybe about 5 years, you know, since I started going to this juggling club.
You know how when you walk in the room and you look like a big goober, and then you start to juggle, and all of a sudden it's like, whoa, grace in action.
You mean I look like a goober when I'm not juggling?
Well, with that hat on, you look like a goober even when you are juggling.
Really?
And it's funny, you've got folks that you see just every week and you juggle with them, and that's pretty much it. And then there's other people where it turns out that you have a little more in common with them than just juggling. So I would say my friend Bill, I don't know how, I guess he came over for a party one day and stayed longer than the rest of the people. In fact, yes, that's exactly what it was.
Yeah, Ellen and I sometimes come here and practice together. And sometimes we meet at this park in Malvern, which is about halfway in between where we both live.
It's a wonderful idea.
Am I getting my mirror?
Bill, you would never, ever get... Ah!
I love juggling.
Well, a lot of people ask me how I first learned how to juggle, or where, you know, when I started learning, or, you know, what inspired me. And I don't really remember, but my parents took me to see the Moscow Circus when I was a kid. And I remember after that I wanted to do everything. I wanted to juggle and do trapeze stuff and all that stuff. And I think after that was when I learned how to juggle.
I first learned to juggle, more sort of, when I was a little child, and my cousin could juggle. So he sort of taught me, and then I was not around juggling, so I stopped being able to do it. And then I always wanted to do it because I had thought it was so cool, but I just wasn't around juggling people. I would like to go straight, please.
Okay, so you throw that one straight.
Oh, it's like just like bounce juggling.
Throw that one, and then you throw this one, and then I throw that one.
Okay, I think I can do it.
Okay.
Oops, I don't have to do that.
You don't, not with this one. We're at Valley Forge Park, and this is where I come to practice. And people come by and they see me juggling. And a lot of people just ignore me and just keep walking. And then other people come up and they'll stop and say, wow, that's really amazing. And I always wonder what the difference between those two kinds of people are. You know, if I saw somebody doing something amazing, I would stop and be amazed. But I always say, if you're a juggler and you're gonna meet somebody, you know, like a future spouse, make sure they're the type of person that's the ones that would stop and say, wow.
Sometimes they react because they think it's odd, I guess, that a female would be juggling, because some people are still a little sexist. And sometimes I think people look at my hair and think it's odd that somebody of my age would be juggling, but oh well, what are you going to do?
I think everybody should have some kind of passion, hobby, anything that they enjoy. You know, you might if you didn't have something you enjoyed, you might get depressed, maybe start, you know, doing bad things, getting in trouble, getting involved with, you know, bad people, which I never do, because I'm pretty wholesome guy.
I got to go to an international jugglers convention. I'd learned to juggle a little bit. I was kind of a hack, but I enjoyed it, and I'd gotten over the initial trauma of all those people being better than I was. I walked in, and it was in the ice skating place up there, some big rink thing, and it was like walking into a big circus. There were all these people juggling and spinning hoops, and there was unicycles up to here, and there was a little child on a big pink ball, like a little sandpiper, going all around you like this. So it's just like being in the middle of a three-ring giant circus, only you were part of it. So that's probably when I got the most excited by juggling.
My advice to somebody who wants to really get good is to practice, you know, for several hours a day while they're young. Because when you get older, it's hard to improve much. Yeah, what does it feel like to juggle? It's hard to explain, but you juggle up here. You don't juggle down here. So if you're juggling really good, there's no struggling at all. You're not like fighting it or anything, because you do it all up here, and you just will yourself to do everything right. And if something goes out here and you have to reach for it, you just let it go. And yeah, like that.
I think I've learned a remarkable degree of focus. I just can focus on things for minutes and minutes now, as opposed to before when perhaps it was seconds and seconds. Oh, look, a dog. It gets harder and harder to keep up your motivation when you've got like other stuff going on in your life. It's harder to set aside the time.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to squeeze in my practice because if I'm busy and I have a lot of other stuff to do at work. But you know, I usually find the time. Even if you just practice for 5 or 10 minutes, it's better than nothing, right?
Do I juggle at work? I certainly have balls in my office, and if I'm not, now that I'm trying to not be a smoking person, if I get very frustrated sometimes and I feel as if I might want to raise my voice, I'll juggle to relax myself.
So, like I was saying, juggling is my passion. Everybody should have a passion, and you want to set goals. I always have some kind of trick that I'm working on, like I want to do this trick where I'm on a chair standing on one foot with a club balanced on my nose, juggling 3 balls with a ring spinning around my foot, kick the chair over, land on the ground, and be juggling the ring, the club, and the 3 balls all at the same time. I don't know if I'll ever be able to do that, but that's what keeps me going every day. Nothing distracts me when I'm juggling. Nothing. I dare you to distract me.